I'm going to say what other candidates are afraid to say. The three original stooges could run the government better than Ralph Northam, Justin Fairfax, and the other candidate, Mark Herring. That's a fact, people. Honestly, Governor Northam's going to tell you that our projections went above at 15 plus percent when it comes down to their budget and fiscal responsibility. See, what they don't tell you is that's really the CARES Act money that President Trump signed, which covered holes in the state budget. That's why it looks better than projected. Realistically, the forecast right now is Virginia is on its way to pure doom. And the Democrats is leading the charge. They in the doom car and hitting the metal full speed and running us straight into a liberal brick wall. See, I'm not here to make friends with other candidates. I'm here to handle business for Virginia. When I go somewhere, it's business on my mind. We can talk about being friends later. Right now, I'm about fixing the problems here in Virginia and how we can get out this mess sooner than later. And it's called voting for Merle Rutledge on November the 2nd, 2021. That's what it's called. Now, Governor Northam won't tell you VC is last in the entire United States of America. It is last. That means VC is so dumb that Alaska, probably Puerto Rico, and the rest of the states that don't even have the resources that we do are doing better than us here in Virginia. Democrats, Republicans, independents, you should be insulted by continuing to believe the dreams of Governor Northam. See, Governor Northam believes in he hopes things get better. Merle Rutledge hopes that things get worse for Ralph Northam and get better for Virginia. That's how I operate. I don't operate lying to people. See, anytime Frank Governor Northam comes to you smiling and giving you a handshake, he's basically saying, how can I screw you over today? Do you still have your home from my lockdowns? Do you still have my business? Have your business from the lockdowns? Do you still have your car from the lockdown? How's your life? Realistically, he doesn't understand what's going on here in Virginia. He's been out of touch for quite some time. When I say he looked a little bit hammered during his press conference, because I believe it. Because you have to be drunk and high out your mind to lock down Virginia, destroy businesses, and destroy families' lives. If you think your lockdown and mandate was meant to save lives. Now, you may say, oh, he saved our life from COVID. He did this. And no, he didn't. Ralph Northam sat up there on that stage and said, hey, I did these lockdowns and these mandates, and I never even reviewed the data. Seriously, you making such a big decision that affects Virginia families and citizens all across the Commonwealth, and you have the nerve to say that you didn't even review the data? Then Ralph Northam probably goes out to North Carolina after that State of the Union, whatever address he decided to have today. And he's going to be fine, people. He's going to have his caviar and wine. While tomorrow, people are facing court dates and being evicted by the thousands. It ain't just about you voting Democrat or voting Republican. Vote based off of substance. Don't vote for a politician just because they have a good name, but they have a reputation of being a swamp creature. And that's what the rest are. Every time I look at the Democratic side, those smiley faces, all of them in the suit, All I see is entitlement. That's all they are. We got Governor McAwful trying to get a second chance to screw over Virginia again. And the rest of the politicians on the Democratic side, all they talk about is better health care where you can't afford health care, affordable housing, you don't even have a house to live in. All these dreams that they give to you, and when it comes down to some reality, oh, well, I'm absolutely not going to cut college loans. Remember Biden? Oh, I want the black vote. Got the black vote. Now he can't even have a meeting without talking down to black people. Or saying, you wait in line just like I had you waiting a long time ago for justice. Ralph Northam, Justin Fairfax, and Mark Herron are an embarrassment to the Commonwealth of Virginia. They are an embarrassment to common sense. They allow the Commonwealth to be slaughtered all summer long, people to be attacked that was innocent, allowed his cities and his counties and towns to be at the mercy of criminals, those who were there for peaceful protests, whether you was at the 2A rally or whether you was there for social justice issues that believed in the definition. That's a far cry from what has happened all across the Commonwealth of Virginia under their watch, while they kept being promoted by their party. Make them very uncomfortable. Remember those words. Don't let up. Remember those words. Remember the words. Attack and harass those because they are in a different party than I am. Remember those words. See, they was inciting this insurrection, sedition, and treason all across the United States of America. Virginia just became the test model. See, we are all fed up as private citizens. See, the Republican Party has a decade-old losing streak. I didn't come into this party to lose. I didn't come into this party to deal with any bullshit from the past. I didn't come in this party to kiss nobody's ass. That day is over with. You have your other politicians and chairmen to do that if you need to have your ego massaged, because I'm not the one for that. See, we have a chance in 2021 to set things right. Y'all been getting raped by higher taxes. Y'all been getting raped by them tolls. Y'all been getting raped by all your constitutional rights and freedoms being taken away. And now they are trying to tell you, no matter who you are from background or race, that your right to defend yourself from monsters is going to be even more restricted, where Merle Rutledge knows it needs to be expanded. I fight for the victims, those who have been sexually assaulted, those who have gotten restraining orders, and those who have seen those who didn't care about those restraining orders, all to take revenge because all of a sudden you ain't with them. Yes. See, we do have a problem with gun violence. The problem is not the gun. The problem is us not understanding what is justified to defend yourself and what is considered reckless endangerment in trying to attack somebody else. See, we have came a long way. And I'm tired of all people being brainwashed by the Democrats' agenda. See, the Republican Party cares about life. We care about the fact that you can wake up on Sunday morning, eat your breakfast, and go to church, whatever religion that you may have, and worship in peace. We believe also in making sure that there's fiscal responsibility so you don't have to increase taxes long as you know exactly how to balance a budget properly without doing pork barrel projects that have nothing to do with you, the American people, but more so to deal with appeasing lobbyists. See, I care about those who are facing evictions. I deal with people every single day on that. I care about those who are affected by COVID. They're seeing their lives destroyed. They're seeing the constant separation. They feel like they are not who they used to be because of the mental illness and the fear that has been perpetuated and promoted by Democrats instead of the Republican Party's heart and spirit to give you the right to fight back and hold on to your own destiny and have the freedom to be who you want to be, not restrict your freedoms over pure self-motivation. See, I was brought up in America, just like so many of you, sharing the same stories. I understand how you feel when it comes down to seeing how tomorrow may look. You're wondering if you're going to go to work and the business that you used to work for, blood, sweat, and tears, showed up every day on time, whether it be closed down without warning and you will be out of a job. See, the governor doesn't talk about things like this in Chesapeake, the Christian psych industry, where they give out mental health services and more, shut their doors without warning, displacing 60,000 patients all across America during the time frame where mental health services is at its most highest demand and should be at a priority, especially given what people are going through today. Now, all those who depended on that job are now faced with the reality. How many different jobs and businesses and more from Governor Northam's lockdown will you wake up the next day and find out you no longer have a job? And you're faced with the same situation that millions and millions of other Virginians are faced with because they are padding the numbers. The fact of the matter is, unemployment is not supposed to be your way of survival. This all happened because of scared politicians and rodents up there in Richmond. They were so out of touch that they voted to delay relief for renters, landlords, and small businesses in 2020 till May of 2021. How many businesses have been closed since that time period? How many landlords have been stiffed from relief since that time period? How many renters are now being evicted because they don't care, but I do. I care about small businesses. I even care about the big corporations. And I also told them, I stand by what I say. I want you to survive through this so you can continue to hire, so people can continue to look forward to whatever job or career that they have, knowing that there is going to be a job there to make sure that they are able to take care of themselves and their families. See, it's a whole bunch of misconception. And yes, on both sides, they have played on your emotions. See, this ain't about where we head from, just our background, what we look like. This is about human rights, human dignity, and being mindful that your decisions have consequences. The best thing we can do for Virginia, the best thing you can do for your neighbor and those that you know have been affected by this disaster of leadership is to make sure it never comes back into public office again. And it doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat, a POS is still a POS. We need real people that isn't tied to the establishment, but still tied to their district and their community, that represents them with honor, with class and dignity, and with a backbone and spine that says that you're not going to buy me off. I'm here and I continue to be here for the American people and for the citizens of this great Commonwealth, regardless of who you are. We can fix this. I'm going to look forward to working with all people. Black, yellow, white, blue, don't matter. The fact is, we are the ones affected by their decisions. And it's going to take work to get us out this mess. But that's why you question anybody that you decide to vote for and say, what is your plan? Because Merle Rutledge got a plan. Merle Rutledge is the insurance that Virginia needs to make sure we no longer go deeper and deeper underwater. They can't even still get the flooding corrected here in Virginia or Hampton Roads. What makes you think they could get things right in Richmond when they are already above water? See, they are above water. The state is going to be okay. The question for Virginia, the question whether you're a Democrat or an independent or Republican, are you going to be okay? Because, see, the Democratic Party says it is what it is. Well, Merle Rutledge is saying, and so many others that believe in fighting, regardless of the party, we believe in the fact we don't have nothing to lose. And what better person for the job is for Virginia to gain, not us, the politicians. See, Ralph Northam and the Democrats got too comfortable. They played on your emotions and played on your feelings. And you did everything that you thought at the time frame was the right thing to do because the media, the liberal media, bullied you. They wanted you to think the way that they do or feel like you'll be attacked if you think another way. If you question them, they wanted to make sure you never question them again. I've been in that position where I have questioned the powers that be and the media attacked me. The media wanted me to go away. They wanted Dr. Martin Luther King to go away. And you saw that they attacked him. The media could even make Jesus look bad. Guess what? If you look at all these lockdowns, you don't hear too much about religion. You hear a whole lot of depending on a governor instead of depending on a God that has made a way when no way has been there. See, we need a better Virginia. We need better leadership. And we must depend on you to do so. We can get this job done when people do less of politics, less of gimmicks, and are committed to action. I've always been about action, not about just making plans. And I guarantee you, as your next governor of Virginia, Pay attention to my policies and my positions. I'm going to get the job done. Whether it's criminal justice, whether it's tax reform, bringing businesses back, making sure the war on drugs is handled responsibly by legalizing marijuana so there's an extra resource for mental health experts and those who work in therapy, given the situation that Northam has created, and making sure records is expunged to give out second chance for those who earn it. And make sure it's administrative so you don't have to continue to pay fees on fees just to get your life back. They took enough of your life, people. Those politicians up there, whether they are Republican or Democrat, has failed the American people. That's why we are frustrated and angry to this day. Because y'all did what y'all was supposed to do. You did everything that you was told to do by those Democrats. And you still haven't seen your life get better. You're starving on days where you used to have food on the table. You're walking to work where you used to drive to work. Where you used to have more money in your budget. You have seen all that money get taken away and create budget after budget on less, not on more. That's the facts, people. See, I'm not going to have any Virginian pay for those politicians' bullshit or mistakes. That's why I said, if there was money given, oh well. There has been enough pain and suffering. There has been enough of punitive damages to those who didn't deserve it and those who never asked for it. You have been put in jail. You have been wrongfully arrested by Democrats for almost a year, and they plan on doing it again. You have faced cruel and unusual punishment throughout this pandemic. The fact is, it's going to come a time where you have to take that mask off. There's going to come a time where you have to say, I don't want to ever be in this situation again. There's going to be a time where you're going to fight, but you're going to know why you are fighting and who to fight. Not each other. Not your fellow brothers and sisters or your neighbors or your friends. It is those that was given that responsibility. They was given your trust and they betrayed it. Also that they can have power. While they had power, they was taking food off your table. No political party has that type of authority to force you to decide between a political party and your family. You see that when you can't go to a funeral. You see that when you can't go to a family outing like Thanksgiving or Christmas. How much more is Governor Northam and them Democratic bastards going to take from you? See, I'm here to give it back. But you're going to have to understand, you're not going to get nowhere having another politician doing the same thing for another 4 years. If your life hasn't been better in the last 4 years, don't sign up for you to hold yourself back. See, I'm about moving forward. I'm about making sure your children that you worry about every single day get a proper education. Have the activities that I was able to have, play basketball, football, do whatever they want to do for academic excellence. And have the experience to be successful They may make their mistakes, but there's always an opportunity to correct them. This is our opportunity. Not me talking as a candidate for governor of Virginia, but as a neighbor, as a friend, as a stranger who cares. Not as a politician, but as somebody who bleeds just like you, who is in pain just like you, who worries just like you about how our government is running. Where they ain't taking the phone calls, I'm taking the calls because I know it is as important to you to hear from somebody who cares and ain't worried about going to their political party asking them for permission on how to handle you instead of treat you with the respect that you deserve. You have fought for America. You have worked hard for America. Your business should not go underwater in America. We should be the ones making sure that only thing that goes down is the politicians that are corrupt and continuing the chaos. See, DC is Richmond, DC is Baltimore, DC is all over this country. That's the problem. Without term limits, we will have an overreaching government. That's the problem. And without spine and backbone, we will no longer have an America that we recognize. So you want to be a stranger to your own country? Or do you want to make sure that strangers to your country knows that the American people still run it? My name is Merle Rutledge, and this is my response to Virginia Governor Northam's State of the BS address. And I am running for the Republican nomination for governor of Virginia, running on the motto, fixing Northam's BS. God bless you, and God bless America, and oh, hell yeah.